can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. A pleasure as always to be joined by Punch Out Boxing's Ra Hokum. We're in final prediction mode for this weekend's clash in Quebec City, Canada, on the undercard of Mbili Selecki. We are talking about the heavyweight fight between Arslanbek Makhmudov and Ricardo Brown. Before we get into it and give our predictions, if you're not doing so already, please do hit that subscribe button. All of your boxing needs under one roof on the channel, so please do check it out and subscribe to the channel, please. Ra, final predictions. Makhmudov Brown, heavyweight clash. Let me know how it goes. What are your thoughts and final predictions for Makhmudov Brown? Is somebody getting stopped? If so, who?
Yeah, you would imagine someone will get stopped. I'm going to have to go with Brown, based on not what I've seen of Brown, but what we've seen of Makhmudov more of late. I think it's fair to say his stock's dropped badly from the monster that he was perceived to be. Although the big stoppage against Caballel, I guess, has aged well, if you can say a stoppage defeat can age well, but because we've since seen Caballel, he's going to stop a lot of top heavyweights to the body, which he has obviously since done. Don't think you can say that Makhmudov's necessarily got punch resistance problems, not in terms of to the head anyway. So I don't see him getting starched out or anything, but certainly against Vianello last time out, we saw there's a lot of fundamental flaws technically that were always evident, I think. But I think we all got caught up in this image that he had of being this killer, which, let's be honest, was based more on his appearance than actually his abilities. But yeah, just looking into Ricardo Brown, looks like he's got quite the amateur pedigree for Canada. Um, it's fought for them, international competitions, all of that. So I would imagine he's technically very good. Got quite a few knockouts so far. This is a big jump up in levels for him, though. But just where they are both in their careers, I think the timing's better for Ricardo Brown. Yeah, I'm going to go for probably a late stoppage for Brown. Probably stopping Makhmudov on his feet, like maybe after a knockdown and a flurry, something like that. Don't see him laying him out because, like I said, Makhmudov's shown good punch resistance, at least to the head up till now.
Yeah, interesting, Ross. Some really good analysis there and great insight. I think it's an interesting point you make. At one stage, what Makhmudov was it 18-0 with 17 knockouts or something like that. And as you said, just based on that look, we were going, uh-oh, this guy's a problem. But as you said, it became apparent very quickly that he was a very basic heavyweight. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, but just when you compare him to, like, I remember looking back on it now, like, I'm pretty sure Caballel was like a 4-1 outsider to win that fight. Just shows
Hmm.
you, like, when there's a bit of hype around someone. Yeah, we can all get high on the supply, I suppose. But yeah, I actually agree with you, Ra. I think yes, it's a step up, and it would be the biggest win of his career. But Makhmudov's getting stopped again. He's getting stopped again here by Ricardo Brown. I think this would be what the third defeat on Makhmudov's record if he was to lose his third defeat in his last four, all by a stoppage. He's definitely shown frailties. In my opinion, as you said, not that he's a doesn't have a nothing like a glass jaw or anything like that we kind of maybe some heavyweights get a reputation for, but I just think there are so many fundamental basic errors that he makes really. And as you said, I'm
Hmm.
glad you alluded to Brian having a fairly stellar amateur background. The fact that I know he's not originally born and raised there, but he is a Canada resident now, I believe. So you'd imagine that the crowd will be on his side. I think that could help him as well. And the fact that yeah, he's got 11 stoppages in his 12 wins as well. Yes, it would be a stoppage. Yes, it would be a step up. It's a step up here against Makhmudov, no doubt about it. But I see him rising to the occasion. And yeah, I think Makhmudov gets stopped for the third time by Ricardo Brown this weekend. But I suppose time will tell. Time will tell. I suppose when you look at it and you think, you could maybe caveat that by saying we haven't seen Ricardo Brown take one clean on the whiskers yet. And if Makhmudov can land early on, how will Brown take that? I think that's maybe one thing I would mention. But I'm agreeing with yourself, Ra. I'm going for a Ricardo Brown stoppage victory here in Quebec City on 27th of June. Just before we round off, Makhmudov is, I don't know, do you know what he kind of remember do you remember at one stage Adam Kownacki was meant to be this next big heavyweight, and then he suffered a series of defeats to Robert Helenius and a few others. Kind of likens him. I don't know why it's kind of came into my head that could be kind of a similar thing happening with Makhmudov here. Say we're both right here, Ra, and Makhmudov does lose for the third time via stoppage. Where do you go from there? Like, I mean, he's not old, but he's not young. He's
Mhm.
clearly not going to go very far in the heavyweight division. What do you do? What do you think happens with Makhmudov if he's to lose this again?
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll put him firmly in the sort of gatekeeper role, won't he? At 36, like I said, not the oldest for a heavyweight, especially one who's obviously not based on speed and reflexes. But again, he's just so technically limited. He's not going to improve. And well, he hasn't really shown any improvements since those, early sort of blowouts that he had. So yeah, he'll be firmly in the gatekeeper role if he carries on fighting, which I'd imagine he would, at least for a few more. Depends how badly he gets beaten as well in subsequent fights. But yeah, I think this is essentially last chance saloon for Makhmudov.
Definitely. Can't really add much more myself. Last chance to do. I mean, if he was to hang the gloves up after this, if he was to lose it by knockout, I mean, he's probably sitting thinking, "Where can I go, really?" But who knows? We could be wrong. Both of us could be wrong here. Rah and Ricardo Bryan could be the one getting stopped by Makhmudov, and that could almost reignite his heavyweight career. But who knows? Time will tell. Tune in on Friday, 27th of June to find out. Ra, pleasure as always doing these prediction videos with you. Guys, if you're watching this and not doing so already, please do subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on this fight and how you see it playing out. And yeah, all that's left for me to say is Ra, pleasure as always to be joined by you. Thanks very much, mate. And I will speak to you again very soon.